Hello, my name is Ali and today I'm gonna defend my practice 7 and practice 8. So let's start. Practice 7 it's the configuring security. So in this exercise I configured the Windows Server Firewall. It is a built-in security tool or feature that assists us in protecting and filtering the device from unauthorized access and other network dangers. So the firewall monitors both incoming and outgoing network traffic. First, we ran as we did previously, like Windows Server virtual machine. Then we going to the Server Manager and using tool. But now we have option Windows Defender Firewall. Choosing this, and here it is. Its interface of Windows Firewall along its profiles like inbound rules, outbound rules, connection security rules, and monitoring. So let's start from the first task. We need to turn off and turn on the firewall for private profile. So to disable or enable the firewall for a private profile, we need to navigate to the Windows Server Firewall, and here's the path how I went to this. Here it is, like Windows Defender Firewall. Like here is the option, and that's the end, like how I turned off. There was previously like on as the recommended, but in this task like I turned it off. Second task, it's enable routing and remote access rule. So in order to activate routing remote access, we have to like go to the here inbound rules, routing and remote access, and enable rule. So I activated three rules like L2 to TP and PPTP and GRA, like here you can see. It's already, as I did previously, like as I enabled, but they were previously like written like no. So I choose these three options, like right click it, and there was option like enable, so I enabled. Task 3, configure the remote volume management, like virtual disk service rule, as it will work only for your user. So the remote volume management virtual disk service, its rule is setting or configuration that allows administrators to control or manage virtual disks from another device or workstation. To begin, we need to go to the properties of its rule by hitting properties, and then go to the general and enable security connection here, like remote volume management. Here, enable rule. No enable, sorry, properties. Here is the option. We need now customize and put the gap on only allow connection from these users, like add. And here is me, like I wrote it like Ali A. Dot Altynbekov, and then it gave me this option like okay, and here it is. It's like with the it's already allowed only for this user, because previously it was nothing here, and we have now with this mark. Task 4, we need to create new custom rule in outbound rules. Choosing the outbound rules and go into the new rule, but inbound and outbound rules in Windows Firewall are critical in controlling network connections and determine whenever traffic is prohibited or allowed. Inbound rules manage incoming network traffic, while the outbound rules manage incoming network traffic and control activity that originates from the device or service. So here, outbound rules, as I said, new rule, and it's giving this window, choosing the program, all programs, allow the connection, choosing the domain private and public, and just a name like test rule, like okay. And here we can see like we have this new rule, and it's yes, action, allow, profile, all. The fifth task was the create new rule for new connection security. Now choosing connection security rules, new rule as we did previously, but now we're choosing custom. choosing the endpoints like any IP address for first endpoint and the second any IP address. Do not authenticate, protocol type any, and what does this rule apply? Like domain, private, and public, as we did previously, and name cybersecurity, because I'm cybersecurity. And okay, here we can see it's enabled, endpoints like any, and do not authenticate. And like as I did it, like I created for connection security rules new rule. Task 6, it's show how you can stop and start the firewall. Properties and going firewall state to the from off to on, and that's the end of practice 7. Now it starts the hard part for me. It was practice 8 because while I was doing it, my virtual machine was broken. Like I don't know, it stopped working correctly, and I needed to reinstall the server to work with this again. So in this exercise, I attempt to develop remote desktop service capabilities like as the gateway, broker, server, access, and so on. However, we must install the remote desktop services from the service management dashboard, as I did it previously in practice 7. Like add roles and features, remote desktop service installation, now we're choosing, not role-based. Standard deployment, not quick start, choosing session-based desktop deployment, and then we define the server for RD connection broker, RD web access, and RD session host. So we don't need to identify specific servers, we merely apply it to main server, it's Ali server 1. And while I'm choosing it, it's giving my VS local profile, like Ali server 1 also, like my administrator account, like RD connection broker, RD web access, and RD session host, and gives me my server and my local. Here it shows me the confirmation, and it asks to restart my system if it's needed. It started, and I completed the installation in the end of RD services on Windows Server 2022 effectively. So task 1, it's installing the remote access role in Windows Server. So routing remote access service role in Windows Server allows you to connect to the administrator server from the separate computer or devices. It combines like direct access, VPN, web application, proxy in single control panel. It's really useful for us. And these are several techniques for gaining remote access to the Windows Server, but the most frequently its built-in option is to use the remote desktop protocol capabilities by reproducing the interface of the remote computer. So to activate it, we need to go to the again add roles and features. Here's the path that I did it. Like here my destination server now, because I'm choosing role-based or feature-based like Ali server 1. On this server page, I'm choosing like remote access and network policy and access services. Other was previously already installed. Then on the next window, choosing direct access and VPN, routing and web application proxy. And like started installation, and here it is. It's like installation succeed. Task 2 was the add the RD gateway server. So the remote desktop gateway server enables authorized remote users to connect to the internal resources through the internet using the remote desktop protocol, while assuring the communication security through the encryption and authentication. It offers safe and regulate remote access to the apps, virtual desktops, and remote desktop sessions. So I prepared 2 servers. Like, as I said, I reinstalled server 1 and created server 2. So I gave names like Ali server 1 and server 2. And from previous assignments, we were creating like another user on my server 1. So it's Ali PC1 that I did it previously in assignments for this work. And Ali server 2 is an RD gateway server that connects Ali PC1 and Ali server 1. So Sorry for how it's hard, but really it was hard to do. So I began server configuration from the RD service page, selecting like this path, like RD gateway, server pool, and so on. Here you can see at RD gateways, like choosing my server, and I don't need it to change SSL certificate structure. I only needed to give a name, so Ali server 2 VS local. Here it succeeds installation, and here we can see like second server is working like in RD gateway. But while the server 1 is the connection broker, session host, and web access. Now we are starting my remote desktop connection. Here we can see like I open it and give like computer name like Ali server 1 and the username that was for this server like Altynbekov. Here I go into the connect, it's giving me this, and then asking my username in password. So I wrote it for my user, and here we can see like I've got the remote access. I completed. So task 3 is the create session collection in RDS. So collections of remote desktop services having a shared restricted number of remote application session hosts and or VDI desktops that may be distributed to the users. It's built on the concepts of dynamic pool of host loads. We are once again employing Ali server 2 for extra services RDS session hosts in this assignment, as I did it previously on task 2 here. So choosing my second server, that was the gateway, and add session host, choosing this option, servers. Again, choosing the server, like, sorry for these screenshots, like they're small, but already like there's a lot of pages on my assignment, so sorry, but trust me, it's my work. So give me options like 2 servers. I choose the second one, choose it like confirmation that it's giving me, and then I attempted to create collection called cybersecurity collection based on the Ali server 2 for just domain users. Here, like going to the remote desktop services collections and create session collection. Here we are creating like RD session host, like my Ali server 2, giving my VS local on there, like user account on this server, and choosing like VS domain users, as I mentioned. User profile disks, like, and then we can see like it succeed of create collection and add service to this. And here we can see its cybersecurity collection is collected. So also for useful tasks, most of the hosts of the Windows services are limiting the desktop programs that will be collected to this collection of custom collections. And I did it too, like basic calculator, Microsoft Edge, and Notepad. Here we can see confirmation. Sorry. Confirmation, completion, and here is published. Here I created a collection and limited the desktop programs that will be collected to this cybersecurity collection. And that's the end of my practice 8. And in the end of conclusion, like we studied about RDS, remote desktop services with the Windows firewall in the practice 7 and practice 8. They are necessary for developing secure remote access environment, and administrators may use Windows firewall to regulate inbound and outgoing network traffic, allowing them to restrict access to authorized users and prohibit unauthorized connections. Organization also may maintain the integrity and security of their RDS infrastructure and organizations by appropriately establishing firewall rules, monitoring network traffic, and implementing access control. Sorry that I'm talking too much and like not correctly. I was doing this assignment for 10 hours because as I mentioned, like I reinstalled my server, like, and created new server with a new user to make this assignment. So sorry, and thank you for your attention. Goodbye.